In Pit Lane, proudly brought to you by Online Invent, websites, digital marketing and custom software. Here on Channel 31, go right here across Melbourne and Geelong, also on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. Now, a big weekend of motorsport down at Phillip Island on the weekend. I tell you what, it was absolutely exciting with the Speed Series. We had a preview of the Speed Series last week, and as we said, joining us this week will be someone who was actually racing at the Speed Series. Not only was he racing, he won his first TCR Australia race win on the weekend. That's Michael Clemente will be joining us from Carl Cox Motorsport. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on in the program. We're also going to have, once again, live music. Interesting story about our musician tonight. We'll tell you about later. His name is ISHAN. But right now, well, Doc's with me back again, and you were having sort of, a hangover from the coronation last week.
I was, yeah. King Charles, he didn't bless me enough, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't get myself up and about. So, but yeah, mechanical issues are all dissipated, and I'm back.
Yes.
And wrapped to be out on the show because I can't wait to catch up with Michael Clemente and hear about Phillip Island on the weekend and all the other motorsport news that's going on around the world, because there's a lot to talk about. Formula One, drags, retirements.
Well, we're not going to talk anything about Formula One tonight. You can be rest assured. So no need to turn. If you're tuning in tonight to hear Formula One news, go elsewhere, because there's none at all. I'm letting you know that now. But what there is, there's lots of other things happening, and let's find out all about it as we go to the In Pit Lane Motorsport News.
A big weekend of racing at Phillip Island played host to 3 of the Speed Series rounds this year so far. Fine weather and a revolutionary new technique called advertising brought out good crowds on both days, and they were treated to some great racing.
Driver Josh Buchan has won the overall weekend for the TCR Australia Series after 3 hard-fought races. Saturday saw Buchan lead from start to finish to set up the weekend, but a maiden series win to Michael Clemente in his new Carl Cox Motorsport CUPRA set up a close final race. Buchan won the final race from Clemente, with Ben Bargwan a third. Despite a tough weekend, Bailey Sweeney continues to lead the series from Jordan Cox and Darren Cameron. Cooper Webster emerged victorious in round 2 of the S5000 Australian Drivers' Championship at Phillip Island. Webster won both Sunday's races after a penalty to race 1 winner, Joey Mawson, cost him his win in race 2. James Golding finished the weekend in 3rd place. Great racing in the Trans Am Series, with Nash Morris having a successful weekend, winning both races on Sunday and securing the round victory. Morris fended off strong competition from race 1 winner Owen Kelly and James Moffat. Morris's battle with Moffat in the second race resulted in the closest finish in local Trans Am racing history, with a gap of just 47 hundredths of a second. Shane Smolin dominated the new GT4 Australia Series, winning all 3 races. Smolin drove his brand new Porsche Cayman to take the win over Tony Quinn and Steve Jukes. In the Australian production cars, Ian Sherrin and Grant Sherrin dominated in the BMWs. An impressive debut for Jude Bargwana in the V8 Touring Car Series, winning the first 2 races. He finished 3rd in the final race after storming back through the field after stalling at the start. Jim Policina finished 2nd in all 3 races. Jamie Tilley in his Falcon won the final race of the round. Jeff Emery and German driver Max Offer triumphed in the GT World Challenge Australia feature race, claiming both the race win and the overall round victory. Liam Talbot and Fraser Ross finished in 2nd place, with Yasser Shahin and Garnet Patterson in 3rd. Shahin and Patterson crossed the line first on Saturday, but were later penalised 5 seconds for not maintaining the correct speed on the safety car restart. This handed the win to the Mercedes pair of Ross Palakis and Jaden Ojeda. The debut of the new National GT4 Series only saw 7 cars on the grid, but with more cars already ordered and on their way down under, organisers are confident the new series has a bright future. That future will include a major new endurance event at Australia's most famous race circuit in 2024.
With ARG, and we're going to run a 3-hour GT4 race as our final round next year at the Bathurst International. And one of the initiatives we want to do there is bring an international driver in to each car. And potentially, I mean, there's options there for a bit of an exchange drive program and all sorts of stuff. So we're talking about that at the moment. Again, I could go to the US tomorrow and jump in one of these and know exactly how the car will feel and behave, which is the attraction. So yeah.
Italian rider Marco Bezzecchi won the 1000th MotoGP event at Le Mans on Sunday, comfortably holding off Jorge Martin and local hero Johann Zarco to claim victory. The race was marred by a number of crashes, including world champion Francesco Bagnaia and 6-time champion Marc Marquez. He's crashing a lot lately. Bezzecchi on a Ducati started the race from 6th on the grid. He took the lead from Martin on lap 12 and never looked back. The 24-year-old Bezzecchi, only in his second year of MotoGP, is now just 1 point behind championship leader Bagnaia. Aussie Jack Miller was one of the many to crash out of the race early after leading it. But yeah, he's thereabouts at the moment, so it's really good. The race started in sunny conditions with a huge race day crowd, taking the event total to an all-time attendance record of 278,805 people.
Well, in the world of motorsport, the month of May means only one thing: Indianapolis. And Monaco, I suppose. And this year the Nürburgring 24 hours, but no, it's mostly about Indy. The month-long festival of speed leading up to the self-proclaimed and registered trademarked greatest spectacle in all of auto racing kicked off last weekend with the running of the Indianapolis Grand Prix, and it's that event that kicks off this week's In Pit Lane International Wrap. The month of May and the annual Festival of Speed has kicked off at Indianapolis with the Indianapolis Grand Prix on the Indy Road Circuit. As the green flag waved, it was Alex Palou who made the best start to pass Christian Lundgaard to take an early lead. A collision between David Malakis and Stingray Robb, the best pro wrestler name in all of IndyCar, put both cars out of contention. Another incident as Will Power and Kyle Kirkwood made contact. At the front, Lundgaard overtook Palou to briefly reclaim the lead, but Palou was determined to fight back, repassing Lundgaard to retake the lead. Palou lost the lead again in the pits, finding himself this time behind Pato O'Ward as they re-entered the race. But he managed to fight his way past O'Ward to once again retake the lead. At the checkered flag, it was a commanding win to Palou, with a strong 16-second victory over O'Ward. Alexander Rossi passed Lundgaard late in the race to finish third. Will Power was 12th, with Scott McLaughlin running out of fuel on the final lap to finish 16th. Now all eyes are set towards qualifying next weekend for the 107th Indianapolis 500 on Sunday, May 27.
Green flag, the Goodyear 400 is underway.
William Byron won the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway on Sunday after leaders Ross Chastain and Kyle Larson crashed on a restart with 6 laps left. Byron held off Kevin Harvick in overtime to secure his 3rd win of the season and the 7th of his career. The bad boy of NASCAR racing, Chastain, ended up 29th and Larson finished 20th.
Here he is off the floor, Mike. Rick Hendrick wins 296. William Byron wins the Goodyear 400.
And former MotoGP star Valentino Rossi has continued his move to 4 wheels with a 2nd place finish in race 2 of the GT World Challenge Europe sprint round at Brands Hatch in the UK. Co-driving with Maxime Martin for Team WRT in the BMW, Rossi was 2nd to the Audi of Matteo Drudi and Riccardo Fella. Australia's Callan Williams won the Gold Cup category with a 7th place finish, also driving a Team WRT BMW.
You're watching In Pit Lane on Channel 31 and Grand Prix City Melbourne. We'll be right back with you straight after this break.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Yes, and thank you to our sponsors, Online Invent. As we've been saying, over the course of this particular series, if it hadn't have been for the support of Online Invent, there would be no in-pit lane on your television, on YouTube, or anywhere for that matter. So thank you to Roy and his team at Online Invent. Online Invent are, as you heard earlier, they're a website development company. They're web marketing, SEO. They do a whole bunch of things, anything connected with computers, basically, in terms of and communications, in terms of getting your message out there to the wider audience on the internet. They're the people you need to talk to. We've mentioned before about just what they've done for our social media profile. Absolutely gone through the roof thanks to Online Invent. So if you're running a business, if you're running a race team, and you want to sort of have a professional presence online, talk to our friends Roy and the team at Online Invent. We really appreciate their support. And also, as I was saying, Roy's got his own YouTube channel, which is motorsportarchive.com.
He does, and geez, he's got some absolute gems and relics there. And like just you get, it's like that rabbit hole you go down there and you just find another one. And then there's another one. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I've forgotten about that. It's just brilliant. And he's just got that edge about finding as well too. He just knows where to look as well.
Well,
he's found a lot of ours.
He knows where to look. My garage. Basically, because that's where a lot of the stuff is come from, and there's a lot more where that came from. Let me tell you.
We've only just scratched the surface.
We've only just begun.
Oh, that's
that's.
I've got some more back-breaking days in that garage to go yet.
More back-breaking days.
That's all right.
Going through all.
Hopefully,
of the,
not too many more
boxes.
home movies. He's got too many home movies.
Too many home movies, which we
some megastars that could have made it.
We won't talk. We won't talk about that. But anyway, thank you to Online Invent for their great support. Really do appreciate it, and thanks to Roy for their support of the show, and also for everything we're doing here at RMITV Student Television.
He's not bad on the camera either, too. He accompanied him up at Bathurst as well.
Yeah, so you'll see some of his works. We've got some stuff coming up from the Bathurst 12 hour. We've got some interviews that Doc did up there coming up. Because, as I said a couple of weeks ago on the program, normally we've got one show left in the studio, and then we're going to start sort of our winter hibernation series, and we're going to have all sorts of things. We've got Doc at Bathurst. We've got stuff that I did just recently down at Phillip Island, some stuff from the weekend. An extended interview with Ken Begg about GT4. That was a lot of interesting stuff.
Phillip Island's been your second home. You've been down there a lot lately.
I've been down there.
So stay tuned. I reckon he's got a few secrets.
Yeah, we've got some good stuff on the way.
A bit of sound
one thing we will cover, and the entries I think kick off this Friday. The annual Phillip Island 6-hour relay race.
Yeah, we're looking at that.
Yeah, a great event, and it's been really badly hit by COVID over the past few years, and they're hoping to get back to this year. 50 teams, 4 cars, hundreds of cars, great grassroots motorsport event, and hopefully we'll be down there covering that.
Well, I dare say there might be some craziness in shoes down there.
There is. It's a terrific event. Okay, well...
take no prisoners.
Anyway, as we said, it's the time for our bonus song tonight. And, if you know the history of the program at all, you would know that, back when we started this, all those many years ago, in the last century, actually.
When we had hair.
When we had hair, or when what was left before it was sort of this colour, was I was just walking to the studio, went past a busker, and who was really a guy called Matt Cochran, and went, oh, he's very good. And I said, hey, why don't you come with me to a television studio? And he thought I was very strange, trying to pick him up or something. But no, it was fair dinkum, and he came in and he played some songs. We had this with our guest tonight, didn't we? Doc and I were coming to the studio, and we walked past the library.
No words even needed saying.
No, we just sort of looked at each other and went, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, and your phone rang.
Yeah, my phone rang, and I said, take care of this.
That's true. His phone did ring, and there was this young gentleman who had this amazing talent that we just both sort of fathomed straight away without any words, and rudely interrupted. You didn't tell me who that phone call was anyway, but this young fella, ISHAN, absolutely brilliant, astounded us with... I just stood there, I had the opportunity while Brett was on the phone to listen to a couple of tracks as well, though, too. I didn't want to interrupt his set, and I approached him and said, hey, how would you like to join us for TV? And I think he might have been a bit astounded, a bit taken back. Are you guys serious? You don't look like you're carrying a whole lot of pizza boxes. You're off to your own party, aren't you? Anyway, so got his exchanged phone numbers. He believed a little bit of it, got our music director onto it. Brett jumped in as well, though, too, and we've landed the home run tonight.
Yeah, and he's available. You can listen to his music. He's on Instagram and YouTube under the name ISHAN, and he's going to play us for our first song tonight, a bonus song for all of you watching online, whether it's Facebook or on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. This is ISHAN and her boyfriend's house.
I went on a date last night. No, it wasn't real. She really meant to be there, and I wasn't meant to feel. When she put her body on mine, we danced like friends, doing this something else on their minds. Lost track of the time. And at the end of the night, I dropped her off at her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe she was having a fun night out. What a cool twisted reality. And I swear there were feelings there when she kissed my cheek and she held my hand to her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe. Suddenly she wanted me back, but I'll never know for sure. I could feel her heartbeat fast, yeah, I could feel it all. When she put her body on mine, we danced like friends, doing this something else on their minds. Lost track of the time. And at the end of the night, I dropped her off at her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe she was having a fun night out. What a cool twisted reality. And I swear there were feelings there when she kissed my cheek and she held my hand to her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe. Pressed against me just a little too tight, and she stared too deep into my eyes to only wanna be my friend. I've had girlfriends that haven't danced like that. I felt something she wanted me to feel. And I know she's been to see my shows, whispering my tunes as the sun went low. Just when I thought I would take her home, I dropped her off at her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe she was having a fun night out. What a cruel twisted reality. And I swear there were feelings there when she kissed my cheek and she held my hand to her boyfriend's house. Oh, she acted nice, she couldn't believe. I just couldn't believe.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, down to Phillip Island on the weekend. It was a great weekend of action, and the TCR Australia Series saw a first-up race winner, and I'm very pleased to say that he was actually planned to be a guest on the program even before he won. So we're not jumping on the bandwagon. We knew he was going to make it in his brand new CUPRA and in the TCR for Carl Cox Motorsport. Please welcome to In Pit Lane once again, Michael Clemente. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, brilliant.
Now, it really was. I mean, could you have believed that you were going to be that successful first time out, brand new car, and then suddenly second race you find yourself in a duel with not with Carl Cox but with Jordan Cox, and you win your first race in TCR. How did it feel?
Oh, it was still trying to believe it. You know, it's we got the car literally a week ago on Friday, and I had high expectations, a lot of pressure on myself, and after Friday's practice, you know, the car was I felt that it was quick, but nowhere near in the direction that I needed it to be, and so we tried to tune it up for Saturday's qualifying. Kind of went the wrong way, didn't really work, but we had to try something. And then so Saturday qualifying and the race one, we slowly dialed it in. And then Saturday night, you know, we really sat down and looked at the data, and I was trying to explain it with my engineers, you know, what I need from the car, and
Trying to get that gel to get that hit that sweet spot.
exactly right. You know, it's like Phillip Island is a track that you really need the confidence in the car, and I felt like I knew the car had speed. We just really had to extract it, and yeah, after they put their heads together and really come up with a good setup for Sunday morning, you know, the car was on fire, and yeah, like it couldn't believe the speed we had, and just, yeah, it was amazing.
See, the good thing is, as a result of winning that second race, you started from the front in the third race as well, and you didn't go back. You end up finishing second there, so you know now that this is a car that you can win, whether it's a reverse grid or whether it's you're starting from pole. This is a race. This is a race-winning car.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I didn't know what to expect. You know, being the reverse grid, you're kind of you're all mixed up in the order, and then to back it up with the speed we had in race 2 was just something really good. You know, solidifies that the setup we had in the car was really good. Yeah, it was just great to be up the front, and you know, it brings a lot of confidence going into the next round.
Just going to bang the drum one more time. You're 1 week old, new CUPRA Leon, straight out of the crate. 1 week, it was white a week ago. Yeah. Threw some livery on it, wrapped it all up on the Friday. Must have been really intense those first few days, just trying. And before even practice, no one had even really seen it yet, had they?
Yes, yeah, like most of the team hadn't seen it up until Thursday when we unloaded it. But yeah, it was a massive turnaround. You know, credit to my team, credit to the Melbourne Performance team. You know, the car stays there at their workshop, and the two guys there were there till like midnight most nights with us, trying to help set it up and get it ready. So yeah, they run a really good operation, and ultimately that's what led to the weekend's results.
Now, we mentioned the team, the Carl Cox Motorsport. Now, for people who sort of, you know, of advanced years such as myself, who don't sort of realise this, Carl Cox is, well, probably one of the leading DJs in the world. He plays here huge festivals in front of massive crowds all over the world. An absolute passionate...
15 years straight at Ibiza.
Well, I've done 15 years straight at Ibiza, but I've never been playing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're usually in your Hawaiian shirt.
But yeah, a passionate motorsport fan, has extreme E2s, races himself in drag racing, got a lovely sort of top door slammer car. But how did the relationship between you and Carl Cox happen?
It started last year. You know, we when the TCR calendar came out, the first race was in like middle of January, and it's always kind of a hard round due to, you know, sponsorships and budgets. Trying to lock things down over the off season is pretty difficult, and due to kind of all that, we didn't really have a budget to go to round 1, and we sat on the sidelines for round 1, and then through a mutual friend and a great friend of ours, actually knew Carl Cox through some other partnership work he'd done previously, and yeah, they got in contact, and Carl was really generous and kind of come on board as a minor sponsor for that year, and yeah, got us kick-started for round 2, and then one thing led to another. You know, we're able to get some other partnerships such as Ryco to help us finish out the year, and then yeah, just kind of at the end of the year, or a few months before the end of the year, we decided that, you know, we want to really step it up and take the results to a new level, and that's when we kind of proposed a new car to Carl Cox, and yeah, he come on board straight away, so it was something massive for us.
You two have got a very good roll call on Carl as well, though, too. All I know is the guy has hit a 5.9 in a drag car, so he's very quick, but I think you two were telling me he's successful. What, Isle of Man, some stuff?
He's got an Isle of Man team. He's got the Extreme E team. He's all sorts of things. In fact, I got a message. I know Carl is actually going to be watching tonight. So, okay, Carl, thanks for everything you do with motorsport. So good on you, and thanks for your support of Michael as well. And he was delighted. I mean, I saw his social media, and he was thrilled with the response to your win on the weekend. So, where do you go from here? I mean, what does this mean now for the rest of the year?
Oh, you know, I hope that we can keep the results coming. You know, it's one thing to kind of get one out of the way, but it's another thing to, you know, stay on top of it and ensure that we're actually a competitive car, and, you know, we have a good package for the rest of the year. So, yeah, like, it was really good to get this, like, win and podium, you know, kind of done really early. But, you know, the hard work doesn't stop, and we'll be chasing it for the rest of the year as well.
Well, it doesn't stop for a privateer team. You're punching above your weight all the time as well, though, too. You've done it the hard yards, and talking to the family as well, though, too. You're always humble and always striving for more. A couple of years ago, I did see that under the bonnet one day that you put some $100 and $200 names, and people could sponsor you that way. Will you be doing this with the CUPRA Leon as well, too?
Yeah, no, we still do that. We've got an amazing support, and all our friends and family come on board every year for that.
It was a real party in your garage on the weekend.
Yeah,
they're a bit of a breeze that came to Phillip Island.
That's it. No, we've got an incredible family. You know, they follow follow us to most of the calendar. You know, they were at Tasmania. So that they come to Sydney, Queensland. So it's amazing, and to see them there to get the win was really cool with having them there as well.
And listen, we're going to take a break now here on In Pit Lane on Channel 31. We come back, we're going to have more with our special guest, Michael Clemente. Also, music from our musical guest tonight, ISHAN. You're watching In Pit Lane. Don't go away. We'll be right back. For those of you watching on Facebook and on the YouTube channel as well for some bonusing, what do you think of the current situation with TCR? I mean, there was a lot of talk on the weekend. I mean, with the numbers and the category, we've now got the World Tour. What do you think that World Tour potentially? What can that do for the category in Australia? Oh
well, yeah, we had a bit of a small grid the last 2 rounds, but the grid has been, you know, insanely competitive. You look at the timesheets and the races and qualifying. It's a really tight field. So the racing,
so many different as well manufacturers. So it's growing.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think, you know, we've already heard a bit of news coming into the next couple of rounds that the grid will grow again, and then with the World Tour, I think that's just going to really enhance it, and hopefully a few of those cars that are coming over here actually stay, and that means more cars in the country. So I think it can only grow really. Well,
we mentioned, I mean, your involvement with Carl Cox Motorsport and all the other teams that Carl is involved with. I mean, for Bathurst at the end of the year as well. I mean, for the World Tour and for the 2 World Tour rounds, has there been any talk about sort of, you know, like extending getting some international talent to sort of join you and help out for those rounds as well?
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, there's going to be 16 or so European and World Tour drivers coming over. So, you know, they have kind of big credentials and quite a lot of fame themselves. So to get them over here is really good.
And genuine works entries as well from Lincoln Co and those sort of people.
Exactly. Manufacturer involvement, which is really good for the category. So
which is what the category has. That supercars, you know, just for all of the, you know, everyone loves supercar and all the rest of it. But there's the one thing, you know, the as you say, it's variety. Almost every single manufacturer has a dog in that fight. The sort of that compact 2-litre front-wheel drive car. Most manufacturers do have a car that will fit.
One more question. I'm not going to gloss over this. I'm going to get a bit more personal. You had your stoush with Mr. Cox on the weekend. We're not going to go too much into that, but well done, well played. You know, if there's a door open, you've got to go up and down, whatever happens. But how do you beat Mr. Buchan? How do you beat that Hyundai? Come on. What's your strategy on that?
I don't know. We in the final race, from what I'm told and what he said...
Because all their cars have their strengths and weaknesses. What's your strength? Well, how are you going to beat Mr. Buchan?
Our car is incredibly good on tyres. You know, we ran that last race with old tyres. Most of the guys around us had new tyres. So, that's a real good thing for us, and I'm sure that eventually it's going to play.
What is the deal? I mean, because the CUPRA, I mean, there's a lot of Audi and Volkswagen sort of technology there.
Your ex-Audi?
You've driven an Audi. I must say, if Greg Rust is watching, you could have put it a little bit different when he said, you know, he raced a Honda before moving up to an Audi. I'm sure the people at Honda, from Honda Australia who were in attendance would have been absolutely thrilled with that.
Was Mr. Delberto there?
He was there indeed. But how different is it from your previous 2 cars?
Yeah, well, they're all extremely different, but at the same time, they all have a lot of similarities. I actually think that this new gen CUPRA is probably more similar to the Honda than what it was to the Audi, just the way they are.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but they're all got their strengths and weaknesses.
It's a nice looking little car. So it's
it does.
I was going to say, it's obviously you've got the feel for it already as well, though, too, in the first. And Dante sitting on the pit room at the front as well, too. Tell us the viewers a little bit about that story.
Yeah, he's my little cousin, and when we made the switch to the Audi last year, you know, it's obviously takes a different kind of portion of the budget to change manufacturers, and we're kind of looking for a little bit more support, and you know, credit to my family. They go, oh, you know, we'll put some money in, but I want my kid's face on the car, and we're like, oh.
So the piggy bank got broken open.
Yeah, we're like, well, where are we going to put a kid's face on the car? So on the inboard he went, and I think it's done a good job.
On the GoPro camera right there on the dash. That's it. Awesome, mate. Well done.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Our guest tonight is Michael Clemente, and coming up in just a moment to play us out will be ISHAN. Michael, the touring car, the TCR Series, around the world, we've got the internationals are coming here for Bathurst and for Sydney Motorsport Park later in the year. But what about your long-term plans? I mean, where do you want to go? Where can this take you, and where do you want to go in the end?
Yeah, well, with the way TCR is at the moment, you know, it's extremely sustainable, you know, not just in Australia, but around the world. So we're not really looking at any other categories. You know, we have our own car, so we're in here for the long haul, but I would love to do some European things. the opportunities that TCR has is amazing. You know, it's unlike most categories. So hopefully one day we can travel and race against someone else.
And the bizarre thing is, I mean, they're actually racing in endurance racing now too in the Creventic series. They were never made for long distance racing, but they're doing very well. So they're a very adaptable car, aren't
Reliability.
Yeah, exactly. Like they do a lot of different things. You've got the sprints, endurance races around the world. America's really big on the endurance races. So is New Zealand. But yeah, I think the sprint racing is the most exciting thing and something I'm definitely keen on.
One last quick thing. One last real quick. I've got $350 in my back pocket here. How about a hot lap? You still doing them?
We're still doing it, mate. That sounds like a plan.
You're still doing. Not too many races put themselves out there and say, well, you can jump in the passenger seat of one of these things and he will absolutely flick you around. Sandown, Phillip Island, you get your
Winton's the next round, isn't it?
Winton's next round. Choice is
coming
yours.
up. Yeah, pretty quickly.
Get that new passenger seat ready.
Yeah, Michael, congratulations. You and Doc can work that out between the two of you. But congratulations on the win on the weekend. Best of luck for the rest of the year. But for now, Michael Clemente, thanks for joining us in Pit Lane.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, fellas.
And Doc's got some more news for us.
A win to Australia's Molly Taylor in the latest round of the Extreme E All-Electric Off-Road Series. Driving with Kevin Hansen, Taylor won the second race of the weekend and now leads the series for Valache Racing. And congratulations to Australia's fastest man on two wheels, Chris Nitro Voodoo Matheson, who has called time on his illustrious career, and hasn't it been brilliant? Matheson recently smashed the last holy grail of the sport when he broke into the 5-second zone with a 5.92 second run at over 370 kilometres per hour. Matheson has won 8 national championships during his 11-year reign. He closed his career as reigning champion in both the 400 Thunder Series and also the Australian Top Fuel Championship. It hasn't always been smooth sailing though, with some spectacular mishaps in his decade of racing, including being blown off his bike at almost 380 kilometres an hour, and he was electrocuted during a race in Darwin when a spark plug hit him in the chest, wouldn't that hurt, on a pass, electrifying him with 45,000 volts. Get that one into you. After that, we think he's earned a rest. And congratulations to our new Concept Promotions Manager, Jason Evans.
Someone stuck that in somewhere.
I know.
It might have been... Yeah, thank you, Ron Burgundy. Yes, okay, so thanks for watching into the show tonight. We're going to wrap things up with... Now, the story behind this, Doc and I were coming into the show a few weeks ago and we went past this busker. I mean, we've got some great buskers playing around Melbourne. We went past this guy and we just looked at each other and went, yeah.
He's got it.
He's coming in. You're going to love this guy. His name is ISHAN. He's on Instagram. He's on YouTube. And he's going to take us out. There's all his details, his social details then. Hello is his new single. And he's got a music video on YouTube right now. So as we say goodbye from In Pit Lane, here's ISHAN and Hello.
Woken up beside you in all my dreams. They've been drowning me. Kissed you in the hallway 1,000 times. Never once in real life. You wouldn't understand the effect that a girl like you can have. That's why it's taken me so long to ask. Is this a bad time? I've been thinking about you for a long time. Didn't know it was the right time to come and say hello. I had a feeling, but part of me lives between my ears, and this could be something that's real, and I just want to give it a go. So hello. So hello. Never found it easy just talking to you. If I get lost in your eyes, I might say something true. Easier to stay and accept my defeat where you're not watching me. You wouldn't understand the effect that a girl like you can have. That's why it's taken me so long to ask. Is this a bad time? I've been thinking about you for a long time. Didn't know it was the right time to come and say hello. I had a feeling, but between my ears, and this could be something that's real, and I just wanna give it a go. So hello. So hello. So hello. Looking back on both our lives, we'll see this moment. Thank the day I asked you how you're doing, said hello, even though I did not know. Is this a bad time? I've been thinking about you for a long time. Didn't know when was the right time to come and say hello. I had a feeling, but that only lives between my ears, and this could be something that's real, and I just wanna give it a go. So hello. So hello.